your problems. That's just a question number and part number. Okay, four part two, four part two, four part two. So everyone is almost saying question four, second part. Okay, question four, second part. Please switch on your camera, otherwise you will be removed from the class. Okay, we are going to discuss the queries of that worksheet. You have to attempt these questions 1, 2, 4, 5, 6, and 11, and I hope you attempted them. Okay, most of you are saying that you have issue in question number 4, second part. If we see question 4, open the worksheet. Oh, question 4, second part is the angle that this tangent makes with the x-axis. We did this in coordinate geometry. I told you one thing. Okay, if you have any line, okay, I'm not doing this question particularly. First, try to understand this. If you have any straight line here, say this one, if you want to find the angle of this straight line with the x-axis or with any horizontal line, then the formula is m is equal to tan theta, or you can say tan theta is equal to m gradient. We did this in coordinate geometry as well, if you remember. So how this formula is formulated, if you see in a right angle triangle, if I say this is the angle theta, we know that if this is rise, this is run. So tan theta here is, normally we know that tan theta is equal to perpendicular over base. So here perpendicular is rise and base is run. So we know further that rise over run is also gradient. So tan theta is equal to m. So if you know the gradient of the straight line, simply put that gradient here, you will get the angle of that straight line with the horizontal, with the x-axis. Now your question number 4, second part, is you have to find the angle this tangent makes with the x-axis. So the formula is same, that tan theta is equal to m, and you know the gradient of that tangent you did in your part 1, because you found the equation of the tangent in part 1. So can you tell me what was the gradient you found in part 1? Was that -3? Yes, the gradient was -3. So tan theta is equal to -3. So theta is equal to tan inverse of that. You will get your required answer. It can be 108.4 plus minus plus 1, either plus 108.4 minus 108.4 or plus 71.6 or minus 71.6. It can be anything. So I hope you got the idea of 4-second part. Basically, whenever it says to find the gradient or find the equation, find the angle of any straight line with the x-axis or with the horizontal, simply you can use this formula, tan theta is equal to m, or m is equal to tan theta. To use this formula, you should be knowing the gradient of that straight line. And you know the gradient of that straight line from your part 1. So that was question 4, part 1. Angle will be negative. Okay, see here, if the gradient of this line was -3, so it means the line was falling. So it was like that. So line was falling. So your line was just like that. So when it says find the angle with the x-axis, so if you are finding this angle, or if you are finding this angle, or if you are finding this angle, these all four angles are with the x-axis. If you got this angle, say if you got this angle 40, then that angle will be 140. And because this is on the clockwise side, so this is minus 40, and that can be minus 140 as well. So if you are writing 40, 140, minus 40 or minus 140, all these angles are basically with the x-axis, so it doesn't matter. आप इनमें से कोई एक आंसर लिख सकते हैं, because all are angles with the x-axis. Okay, after this, you asked for question number 4, second part. Then question 5. Okay, yes, Daniel is also asking for question 5. Okay, question 5 is, okay, question 5 is, a curve has equation y is equal to 3x cube minus 6x square plus 4x plus 2. Show that the gradient of the curve is never negative. So gradient mean, this is a topic differentiation. So if he's talking about that gradient, we need to prove that gradient is never negative. So let's find dy by dx. We know that dy by dx is basically gradient. So if you find the gradient of this this curve, it will be 9x square minus 12x plus 4. We need to prove that this dy by dx means this gradient is never negative. Okay, remember, most of the time you will get these type of question in which you have to prove that this is always positive, it's never negative. Most of the time what you have to do, you have to complete the square, because once you have written a complete square, maybe if you are getting say 2x plus 7 whole square, now we should know that this term can never be negative. Why this can't be negative? Because whatever the value of x is, if you are putting x is equal to 1, x is equal to 3, x is equal to minus 2, x is equal to minus 10, at the end when you are taking the square, every negative and positive, both numbers will become positive. So once you have completed the square, the answer of that cannot be negative. So here we have to do the same. The question says we have to prove that this gradient means this dy by dx is never negative. So we have to complete the square. See, this is 9x square is the square of 3x, and 4 is the square of 4. This is minus 2ab 3x into 4. See, this is written like a square minus 2ab plus b square. A square, this is a square. See, this 3x square, 9x square. 2 into 3x into 4 is 12x into 4, sorry, not 4 square, I was wrong. This is 2 basically. This is 2. So 2 square is getting 4. 2 times 3 into 2 is also you're getting 12. So this is written a square minus 2ab plus b square. And we know a square minus 2ab plus b square is equal to a minus b whole square. So we can write the above expression like 3x minus 2 whole square. Now 3x minus 2 whole square, this is your dy by dx. Now further, almost you have proved, just you want to write a statement. We know that 3x minus 2 whole square, the answer of this can be 0 or a positive number. The answer, this is always greater than equal to 0. I hope you understand this thing. This is a whole square. So whatever is inside the bracket, if you are getting minus 2, the minus 2 square is also positive 4. If you are getting positive 2, whole square is positive 4. So the square of every number is always a positive. So you'll write here that 3x minus 2 whole square is always greater than equal to 0. Mean dy by dx is always greater than 0. So gradient is never negative. Yes, Hajra.
Sir, what if we solve the quadratic equation 9x square वाली और इसमें जो भी x की वैल्यू हो और वो पॉजिटिव आए, so is that proved कि gradient is never negative?
So if you are solving the equation, so what are you basically using dy by dx? You are keeping dy by dx 0. So 0
Uh,
mean
no.
no. If you want to
Yeah.
solve this equation, so it means you are putting dy by dx 0. So putting dy by dx 0 mean you are trying to find the coordinates of stationary point. So stationary point can be negative, can be positive. So it has no give and take with that greater
Okay.
never negative value. So can we do it by breaking the middle term? Yes, you can. If you break the middle term, you'll get 3x minus 2 into 3x minus 2. Then 3x minus 2 into 3x minus 2 will give you 3x minus 2 whole square. So that's also fine. But that will only work if the midterm break is possible. Like here it was possible, but square can be completed for all the questions in which even the midterm break is not possible. Okay, that was question 5. What's next? G. Any other question? Raja Rotab asked for 11-second part. 11-second part. Okay, see question 11. Here there's a curve whose equation is given y is equal to x minus 2 whole power 4. At point A, there is a tangent line AB and there is a normal as well AC. In part 1, you have to find the coordinates of B and C. You are asking for second part only. So it means you know the part 1. So just let me write the answers for part 1. B is 5 by 4, 0, and C is 0, 3 by 4. Okay, now the second part. In second part, find the distance AC, giving your answer in the form under root A over B. We need to find AC, but our answer should be in this form under root A over B. So you should follow the instructions. Distance, if you want to find the distance AC, then you should know the coordinates of A and C. We know the coordinates of C, they are 3, 4. We know the coordinates of A, which is 1, 1. C is 0, 3 by 4. Okay, let's find the distance. It is under root x2 minus x1 whole square plus y2 minus y1 whole square. X2 minus x1. So you can write 1 minus 0 or 0 minus 1 whole square plus 1 minus 3 by 4 square. This is 1 minus 0 is 1, 1 square is 1, minus plus. What is 1 minus 3 by 4? If you subtract 1 minus 3 by 4 is basically 1 by 4. And what's the square of 1 by 4? It's 1 by 16. So if we take LCM here, we get 16, 16 plus 1, which is equal to under root 17 over 16. Under root 17 is not possible. The square root of 16 is possible, which is 4. So yes, it is in the form of under root a over b, where a is 17 and b is 4. You need to write your answer in this form. If you are writing your answer in decimal form or any other form, then your answer mark will be deducted, because the question clearly states that you need to write your answer in that particular form. So because you should not use your calculator or write in decimal form when the question itself tells that you need to write in that specific square root 3 over 4 or your fraction form, then you should not be following that decimal form. G. Any other question? So no other problem. Raja Rotab is saying question 2, third part. Question 2, third part. Okay, in this question 2, find the set of values of x for which 1 by 6, 2x minus 3 whole cube minus 4x. This is, we need to find a set of values of x for which this is an increasing function. We know that for an increasing function, for increasing function, gradient is always greater than 0. Positive means dy by dx is greater than 0. And here in this question, you already found dy by dx in part 1. So just take the help from part 1. Your answer of part 1 is, okay, it is, if I take 3 outside, 3 over 6 into 2, it is 2x minus 3 whole square minus 4. G. Was that the answer of dy by dx? Please confirm. Yes, 2x minus 3 whole square minus 4 is greater than 0. We need to find the values of x for which this is an increasing function. So basically the start was important, and we know the start, that we should be knowing that for increasing function dy by dx is greater than 0. So use the value of dy by dx. So we got 2x minus 3 whole square minus 4 is greater than 0. Now which topic is this now? Now this is quadratic inequality. You know very well how to solve quadratic inequality. You did this in quadratics. So first solve this quadratic equation and find the x-intercept. Then at the end, we need to decide the inequality. So if I keep this equal instead of greater, I can do like this one, minus 4. If I keep this equal at the end, I'll replace back that inequality is equal to 4. So if I take the square root, I'll get plus minus 2. So one of the option is 2, the other is 2x minus 3 is equal to minus 2. From here you will get 5 by 2, and from here you will get 1 by 2. But we need to decide the inequality. X is equal to 0.5, this is 0.5, and this one is x is equal to, I'm just writing in order. So, but we need to write the inequality because that was not equal. See this, that was greater than 0. So I told you how to decide this. If this is 0.5, 1, and the other is 2.5, the coefficient of x square is positive, so curve must be rising. Mean this one is greater than 0, mean the shading is above the x-axis. Here is the shading. I hope you remember this. Now this shading tells us that your x is smaller than 0.5 and greater than 2.5. So only that step was from the differentiation. After this, it's entirely your quadratics topic. Now, in the exam, you will be seeing that there will be a mixture of different topics in a single question. G, any other problem? Ismail is asking for 2 second. Was that 2/3? Yes, that was 2/3. Second part, find the equation of the tangent to the curve at the point where the curve intersect y-axis. So already in part 1, you got dy by dx is equal to 2x minus 3 whole square minus 4. Now second part, you have to find the equation of tangent where intersect the y-axis. So intersect the y-axis at y-axis, we know x is 0. So if you want to find the gradient first, so put 0 here to get the gradient. So if you put 0, 2 into 0 minus 3 square minus 4, which is minus 3 square, 9 minus 4 is 5. The gradient is 5. Now you need coordinates to find the equation of tangent. So you need to put x is equal to 0 in original equation, which is the original equation is y is equal to 1 by 6 2x minus 3 whole cube minus 4x. So put here 0 here. So you will get minus 3 cube is minus 27. Minus 27 over 6 is minus 9 by 2. Here this is 0. So we got minus 9 by 2. So 0 minus 9 by 2, if my calculation is right. Yes. So now the equation will be y minus y1 mean y plus 9 by 2 is equal to m into x minus x1. So y plus 9 by 2 is equal to 5x. If you multiply throughout with 2, you'll get 2y plus 9 is equal to 10x. So this is your equation. I hope, Ismail, you got it. Yes, sir. Okay, up till now, okay, who Abdullah Qureshi, where were you? We just did question number 2, third part. See here. Only when it says increasing function, so it means your dy by dx is greater than 0. After this entire topic is the entire question is from the topic quadratics. Okay, in this chapter till now, we have learned the techniques of differentiation. We know how to differentiate. We learned 2 techniques. If it is x raised to power n, it will become nxn minus 1. If it is whole power, then whole power will become coefficient and subtract 1 from the power, and the derivative of inner will be multiplied. Then we know that this dy by dx basically represents gradient function, gradient of tangent. If you know the gradient, you can find the equation of gradient. Now you can find the equation of tangent. Now you know how to find the coordinates of vertex, coordinates of stationary point. You can find the maximum value, minimum value, or vertex coordinates. After this, you can check the nature of stationary coordinates as well, stationary point as well. And how to check? There's a second derivative test. Differentiate dy by dx, again you'll get second derivative, mean d square y by dx square. Put the x coordinate of the stationary point in second derivative. If you are getting a positive answer, that will be minimum. If you're getting a negative answer, that will be maximum. Okay, next is Now we have to do a bit different questions. See here. If I give you an equation like z is equal to x square plus 3y, and further it is given that x, okay, no, 2x minus y is equal to 5. These two equations are given. Okay, one thing more I want to discuss before this question. If we have y is equal to x raised to power 3, if we differentiate here, we will differentiate y with respect to x, so we will get dy by dx here, which is 3x square. But remember, if we have y is equal to, say, t cube here, now this time y is written in terms of t, so you will differentiate y with respect to t. So this time you will get dy by dt is equal to 3t square. Further, if we have x is equal to t cube, now what will you get on the left side? Now you will differentiate x with respect to t. So this time you will get dx by dt, which is 3t square. If I have z is equal to x cube, now what will you get on the left side? You are going to differentiate z with respect to x. So you will get dz by dx, which is 3x square. If we have p is equal to q cube, now here you have to differentiate p with respect to q. So you will get dp by dq is equal to 3q square. The method of differentiation is throughout same, only if the alphabets are changing, you need to write according to. If y is written in terms of x, so you will get dy by dx. If y is written in terms of t, you will get dy by dt. If x is written in terms of t, sir, you wrote cube. Sorry. Okay, so if it x is in terms of t, so it will be dx by dt. If z in terms of x, dz by dx. P in terms of q means dp by dq. Okay, now coming back to this question. Here the question is find the maximum value of z. Okay, I took a random question, so that might not be possible here. But I think, okay, minimum. I'm changing the question a bit, make it minimum. Find the minimum value of z. Okay, now remember, don't look at this question. If the question says find the minimum value or the question says find the maximum value, you need to understand that this is the topic. He is talking about differentiation topic. Why? How do we know that it's differentiation topic? Because we know if I draw any curve here, if he's talking about minimum value, mean he's talking about this point. If this graph drawn against x against z, so the minimum value mean at that value your tangent will be horizontal. So basically this is that the previous topic mean the stationary point. We know at stationary point gradient is 0. So whenever he is using the word find the minimum value of a particular variable, find the maximum value, find the stationary value, find the vertex or the turning value. So all these are showing you that this is a differentiation topic, and all on all these points, your differentiation mean gradient will be 0. But what's the problem in this question? The problem is that we know, okay, to find maximum or minimum value, we need to put dz by dx or dz by dy or differentiation. We need to put that 0. So it means first we have to differentiate. Now my question is, your z is written in terms of x and y. So will you differentiate z with respect to x or with respect to y? We haven't done these questions before that. All the time you are getting either z, an expression z either in terms of x or in terms of y. But here the problem is you are getting z in terms of two variables, x and y. Yes, Daniel is right. First of all, we have to write z in any one of the variable. Mean either the whole expression of z should be written in terms of x or in terms of y. And how we will do that? For this purpose, the second equation is given. Okay, sir. So for this purpose, second equation is given. So Sanadim is going to remove all of them whose cameras are not on. So find the minimum value of z. So we need to differentiate this, but first we have to write z in terms of entirely either x or y. So it's easier to make y subject. So if we make from the second equation, if we make y subject, you will get y is equal to 2x minus 5. Now put this y here in the first equation, you will get z is equal to x square plus 3, y is 2x minus 5. So we get x square plus 6x minus 15. So we got this. Now the question says we have to find the minimum value of z. So let's differentiate this. We know minimum means for we need to go for differentiation. We will differentiate z with respect to x. So dz by dx is equal to 2x plus 6. For minimum value, put dz by dx 0. So you will get, if you put dz by dx 0, so 2x plus 6 is equal to 0. So we got x is equal to minus 3. Is this our answer? G, is this our final answer? No, because this is the x coordinate of our minimum point. We need to find z, minimum value of z. So we need to put this x is equal to minus 3. If I put this here, if I want to put here, then we need y as well. So there are two options here. Either to put x first here in this one and find the y. And once you have x and y both, then you can use this expression and you can find both of them. But the easier way is, see, you already have an expression for z entirely, which is in terms of x. So simply put this x equal to minus 3 here, because the question doesn't say that you have to find y as well. So no need to find y. Directly you can put x equal to minus 3 in that expression, so you will get z. So z is minus 3 square plus 6 into minus 3 minus 15. So what is that? 9 minus 18 minus 15 minus 24. So this is the minimum value of z. And if the question was find the stationary value of z, the whole procedure was same. And if after this, if it says discuss the nature of this stationary value, whether it's minimum or maximum, then you need to go for second derivative test. And in that second derivative test, you can further find whether it's minimum or maximum. Okay, I hope you got it now. Okay, from that worksheet, now you can attempt question number 7 and you can attempt question 13. Okay, do question 7 right now. Start question 7 now. Everyone, please start question 7. Your question 7 is z is equal to 3x plus 2y and xy is equal to 600. Part 1 is quite simple. You need to show that z is equal to 3x plus 1200 over x. Ryan, Heather, Mishal, Raja Rotab, Zainab, please switch on your cameras. G, it's quite simple to prove part 1. Simply make y subject from xy is equal to 600. You'll get y is equal to 600 over x. Then plug this 600 over x into the first equation. Okay, Rotab. So you'll get z is equal to 3x plus 1200 over x. I hope there is no issue in this part. Once I upload the worksheet in Google Classroom, simply you should download that. No need to open that classroom again and again. Okay, now in second part, your second part says, find a stationary value of z and determine its nature. So for stationary value of z, 3x plus, you have to differentiate it. To differentiate, you need to bring x into the numerator, 1200 x raised to power minus 1. Now differentiate this, you'll get dz by dx, which is 3 minus 1200 x raised to power minus 2. Mean dz by dx is 3 minus 1200 over x square. I hope you got this dz by dx. Now put for stationary value, put dz by dx is equal to 0. So 3 minus 1200 over x square is equal to 0. 3 is equal to 1200 over x square. X square is equal to 400. Here x is equal to 400. So while taking square root, we need to write plus minus 20. But here we have to write only positive 20, not negative 20. Why? What's the reason? We know, okay, whenever we take square root, we write both positive and negative both. But here we have to write only positive. If you write both of them, Marks will be deducted. Why only positive? Why not negative 20? Due to square? Yes, I know that due to square, we are applying square root, so both should be there, positive and negative. Yes, in the question it is written that it should take only positive values. See, the statement of the question says variable x, y, and z can take only positive values. So that's why we will not take negative values. So x is equal to 20 only. So just put this x is equal to 20 in z and tell me what are you getting the stationary value. So if you put z there, 20 there, it's 60, 20 over 60, it's 120. So the stationary value of z, I'm getting 120. I hope you got the same. Now the second thing he is saying, you have to determine the nature of this. Nature means you need to tell whether it's minimum or maximum. So we need second derivative. So that was your first derivative, dz by dx. Differentiate this again, you will get d square y by d, sorry, not y. You'll get d square z by dx square. The differentiation of 3 is 0. And for minus 1200 x raised to power minus 2 is positive 2400 x raised to power minus 2 minus 1 is minus 3. So you got 2400 over x cube. Now to check the nature, we need to put x is equal to 20 here because you need x coordinate. You need to put x coordinate. So 2400 over 20 cube. This is always positive. So positive mean z is equal to 120 is minimum. So the nature of this is that this stationary value of z is minimum. Gee, I hope you got it now. Okay, next thing now we have to do. Mikhail raised his hand. Yes, Mikhail.
सर ये मुझे ये जो आखिर में आपने किया डी स्क्वायर जी वाला ये नहीं समझ आया
Were you here yesterday? Mikhail?
सर ये कल नहीं आ पाया था मैं मुझे निकाल दिया था
So you need to get notes from any student. I told you that if you want to discuss the nature of stationary point, the method to check the nature is this one. See, you have to find the second derivative, d square y by dx square. That is how you represent the second derivative. Once you have second derivative, in that second derivative, you need to put that stationary point. If the answer of that is coming positive, so that positive means that is a minimum, and negative means that is maximum. So here we did the same. We found the second derivative and put the x coordinate of the stationary point. We got positive answer. Positive answer mean, so we got 120. So this is by using that second derivative test. Okay, next is chain rule. I have conducted an extra class tomorrow. Tomorrow is Friday, and that will be 12:15 to 1:15. before Juma prayer, 12:15 to 1:15. I have asked for the admin for this. Hopefully, there will be no issue, but they will further confirm me, and you will get a confirmation message as well. So, most probably, this will be the time, but we will wait for the confirmation. Okay, now the chain rule is, what is chain rule? That's the last thing we have to do in differentiation. Your chain rule is dy by dx is equal to dy by dx. Oh, wow. Dy by x is equal to dy by x. Usually in the question, you will be seeing that there will be one more variable other than y and x. So now you need to see what other variable is in that question. Hasib and Mikhail, you want me to remove you? So this is dy by dx. I want to tell you how to make chain rule. Chain rule is not one specific rule. There are different forms of chain rule. So one of the forms say is, if I solve any question and I see that there is two variable y and x and there is third variable t as well. So to make chain rule, I will write here dt and dt here. Now if you see, dt and dt will be cancelled out, and overall you'll get dy by dx is equal to dy by dx. But here we got chain rule, dy by dx is equal to dy by dt into dt by dx. Okay, see another form of chain rule. Suppose a question has three variables, say v for volume, radius, and time. If I want to make a chain rule for dv by dt, now please see why we will make the chain rule. I will explain this in a particular question, but just try to understand how we are making that chain rule. If you want to find dv by dt, so see, this will be equal to dv by dt. Now what should come in the numerator of second expression and denominator of the first expression? You need to see what is the third variable. It is r in that question. So here you will write dr. So you got your chain rule, dv by dt is equal to dv by dr into dr by dt. Okay, more example. If you have another question which involve area of a circle, maybe radius and time. If the question is to find dA by dr, if the question is to find dA by dr, so how will you make your chain rule? You will write dA by dr like this. And what's the third variable here in question? Is t. So you'll write here dt, dt. So you'll get dA by dr is equal to dA by dt into dt by dr. One more example. If we have x, y, and t. So x, y, and t mean this is if, and the question is to find dx by dt. Now how will you make your chain rule? Your dx by dt will be dx by dt like this. Third variable being used in this question is y. So you will write dy here at the top and here dy. So you will get dx by dt is equal to dx by dy into dy by dt. That's a chain rule. So I hope you know, okay, how to make the chain rule. Simply you need to see what do you have to find. You will write that on the left side, and then need to see, okay, what is the third variable in that question. So according to that, you need to decide that chain rule. Now tell me, what is dy by dx? Now, because now you will be finding some word problem. A different questions will be given, and in a word problem form, you need to identify what is given and what do you have to find. Now, those will be given in the form of a statement. Now, for this, you need to see what dy by dx actually mean. Dy by dx is basically gradient. We know it's gradient. Gradient mean rate of change. And here when it is written dy by dx, it means this is the rate of change of y with respect to x. If it is written dv by dy, what does it mean? It means rate of change of z with respect to y. If it is written, say, dx by dt, what does it mean? This is rate of change of x with respect to time t. Now, if I give you a statement, like see here, if I tell you that rate of change of s with respect to r, how will you write this in mathematically? Rate of change of s with respect to r. How will you write this? Yes, ds over dr, ds by dr. If I ask rate of change of x with respect to r, so that will be dx by dr. So just remember these things. Inshallah, we will be using this and the chain rule in tomorrow's lecture, and we will end the differentiation tomorrow. So most probably it will be around, the class will be 12:15 to 1:15, but I'm waiting for the confirmation from the admin. As soon as I get that confirmation, you will see the confirmation on your WhatsApp group as well. Thank you so much. See you tomorrow. Allah Hafiz.